What's up, everybody? I'm here with another TBR video. This is actually the first one I have of 2026. And first off, I want to do a disclaimer because I didn't do a TBR for January or February because I kind of did like a mood reading thing, and I never really do that. So this is my TBR. I do enjoy doing TBRs, and that kind of not gets me not so overwhelmed with all the stuff I want to read. But I do want to point out two things, and that is because the book community and mainly two people on YouTube that I've you know uh, been paying attention to have been doing like a lot of reading stuff, and that's Sean Stevenson and Shady Side Library. Shady Side Library has its own little book club now, which is cool. I haven't read anything along with the book club, but I do plan on doing that if they throw in something that I haven't read yet that really catches my eye. I really want to do that. So that's really fun, and I think Sean Stevenson is doing Animorphs, and he's I think like 7 books in, 8 books in, or something like that. I have been following the reviews on that, but I don't want to know too much, so I do want to kind of start reading Animorphs. It's pretty fun to read along with people as they're reading. So yeah, I do have a theme for this month, and that is like bad luck, spring, and different things like that, carnivals. Yeah, so let's kind of jump right into it. And also, another disclaimer: if you guys actually read along with what I read, and you see something pop up in a few months that, or not a few months, in a few weeks that I don't have here, and that's just because either it caught my eye or something I wanted to knock out, because there are some other things that I do want to read, and if I run into something where I'm just like, I'm not reading that, I'll just pull something out. But this is, some of the stuff that I do plan on reading. So yeah, this is the first book I have here is one that I started on. I'm only currently reading one book right now, and that is The Wicked Cat from the Spooksville series. Not much has happened so far other than a tree falling down, and the kids see that there's this like laser beam underneath the tree. There's a dog barking, and they're like, "Who knocked this tree down?" And obviously it's the cat. But yeah, I do have a Fear Street new Super Chiller book. This is The Stepbrother. I just picked this because I'm very close to finishing another series, and I just can't wait to just jump into different things. But this is Stepbrother. I don't know anything about that book, and these next three are ones that I've had on my TBR for years. I have Who Killed the Homecoming Queen, Fear Hall: The Conclusion, which, fun fact, I read the very first one in this little mini series in 2022, I think, and it's 2026, so it took me 4 years to read 2 books. Something like that, anyway. I could be a little wrong. I have The New Girl, and I do have the very last Fear Street Seniors book. This is Graduation Day, so maybe I can finish up the senior series this month. Next is one that I'm kind of nervous about starting, but I do, because I have a ton of these books and never read a single one. And I did pick an Animorphs book. This is The Invasion. Again, Sean Stevenson has been reading these books, and he's already on like book like 8, 7 or something. And I really want to like knock them out because I don't know exactly which ones I have. I know I have the first 3. I don't think I have number 4, so give me an excuse to buy more books. Anyway, you always need that. I have 2 Give Yourself Goosebumps books, and they both deal with curses. So I did The Knight in Screaming Armor. Very fantastic cover, by the way. And I have The Curse of the Cave Creatures. And next, I also have a book that my fiance picked out because this month is actually our anniversary. So I let her pick out a book, and she picked out a book that I had on my TBR for January, I think. This is Goosebumps Series 2000, Jekyll and Heidi. She picked this because we went to Jekyll for, I think, our last anniversary or something. So, pretty funny. And next is something a little different, but I do have 3 books in a series. The author actually sent me some, and I wanted to do a carnival book, so I figured I'd just read them in order. And so I have The Creepy Carnival from E.D. Black. He sent me this book a week or so ago, and I do want to plan on trying to knocking these out. and get some reviews out for them. And yeah, I look forward to reading these. The one about the cake is number 2, I think. I'll probably read that for my birthday. That's next month, so that'll be very fitting. I did pick a Shivers book. This is The Mystic Spell. Very fantastic cover on that one too. And we're going back to the original Goosebumps series with It Came From Beneath the Sink. One of my favorites as a kid. And so this is kind of where it gets kind of crazy. I did pick Night of the Living Dummy. If I'm not totally burned out by the time I read this first one, I may read all 3 in the original series and, you know, knock all those out. Because I do have like a bind-up book edition of this, so I might just read that here and not carry it with me and just knock out a bunch of them. I haven't decided yet. I picked a Bone Chillers book. This is the Tiki Doll of Doom. And another book that I had in my TBR from, like, I think January is, I did pick the special edition Tales to Give You Goosebumps, the very first one. And I'm weird, for those of you who don't know. And the reason I picked this book is because I do want to read the Christmas one, but I don't want to read the Christmas one like first, and that's the only reason I'm reading these. The Christmas one's last, and my playlist, I want it to be like Tales to Give You Goosebumps, more Tales to Give You Goosebumps, even more Tales to Give, you know, like in order. Like, I don't want to do even more Tales to Give You Goosebumps first. I know that makes no sense. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, I do want to read this month. And last but not least, I just picked this on a whim, and this isn't something that I'm like going to be like, oh, I need to start this ASAP. I've read 2 of these books in a series. I've only reviewed, I don't think I've reviewed any of them, but these are the Fear Street novels, and this is Can You Keep a Secret? One of these sounded very interesting, and I couldn't remember which one, but this one just felt like a March book. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I do plan on reading this one. Hopefully this month. I might start on this and just kind of keep this as my book at home, and just, you know, it's a giant book, but it's only like 200 pages, I think 230, 60, or it's 260, I think it's 263 or 4. It is 263, yeah. So not super long, so I think I can knock that out in about 2 weeks. So yeah, this is Can You Keep a Secret from the Fear Street novel series. And again, I've read like 2 of these, and I've just never reviewed any of them. The one with the horses is the one that I remember the most, and I thought it was really good. I'll probably reread that eventually, but just for review purposes. But yeah, that's my 17 books for my TBR for March. And again, if you guys see me jump into different books, and that's just because I found something else that I want to read too. And again, if Shadyside Library picks out a book that is something that I haven't read, I think he's done The Wrong Number and The Mist, which I've read Skeleton Crew, or like at least most of it, and I didn't love it. And I'm not like a big Stephen King guy, so I haven't read a ton of books by him. I do have some, so I do plan on reading them eventually. And then he did The Wrong Number, which I read The Wrong Number in like 2021. I just didn't feel like reading that one, you know, right now. But yeah, I do plan on rereading it, so probably should have read it. But and I think at the beginning of the month he had Fall into Darkness by Christopher Pike, and that was one that I just didn't really prepare myself to read yet, and wasn't really in a Pike mood yet. I'm going to be soon, maybe. So yeah, that's all my books that I picked for this month, and I'm gonna try to knock these out and see how far I can get. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.